Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. This is for Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 6, Axe and Grind. I'm a gas giant. This has to happen tonight. We're here tonight to talk about this episode of Better Call Saul. I just saw someone in the live chat say this episode was hype, but tease at the same time. And on that point, I am not alone tonight. I have with me a guest to join me to talk for a little while tonight, to pop and give his thoughts about this episode. Another amazing YouTuber that creates some of the best Better Call Saul content that you can get there. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. But welcome, everybody, and welcome the Vivid Kiwi. Welcome, the Vivid Kiwi.
Hey guys, Kiwi here. Glad to be on the stream. Been a fan of it for quite a while, and I'm real hyped about today's episode. So let's go ahead and jump right in, honestly.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about this episode. It's fun to actually get to talk to somebody about this episode. I'm used to babbling about this stuff alone for a couple of hours. But another really great episode of Better Call Saul that just keeps building the hype and building the anticipation for what's going to happen in this final episode. We're going to get into some of the big points in a second, but I also want to open this up to you guys in the chat. If you want to call in and leave a message for me in the Kiwi right now to share some thoughts about this episode, you can do that at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509. You can see that number on the screen right now. And if you're in the live chat and I'm not seeing your comment or something, you can definitely text that number as well to get your thoughts in right away. But so many awesome stuff happened in this episode, Kiwi. And one of the best things that we had was the Kim cold open. We got to actually see more of Kim. We've had so many cold opens this season that really had to do with nothing. This one just built so much more understanding on who Kim was as a person and connected really well to the end of the episode. What were some of your thoughts on the Kim flashback that we got at the beginning of the episode?
Oh my god, so I have so many. So first off, I gotta give a little disclaimer here. I was low-key spoiled that this was gonna happen just because someone wrote in my comments saying that the young actor that plays Kim as a kid actually posted something about it on their Instagram. When I got that spoiler, I was almost in denial and didn't want to believe it just because I didn't want to, hype myself up for disappointment. But, I saw it and it happened. And so a running theory that's been going on involving Kim's past for quite a while and kind of links to the reason why she never left Jimmy throughout, I guess, like the first 5 seasons of Better Call Saul is because, well, I mean, I guess you always kind of thought, like, when is Kim going to have enough with Jimmy? When is she going to finally leave him? But the more and more he gets corrupt, the more and more cons they do, the closer they surprisingly got together. And it's kind of because people theorized that there was someone previously in Kim's life that reminded her, or that Jimmy reminds her of. And we got to find out in this episode that it was her mom. Her mom was the corrupt influence, so to speak, that I don't know. I'm just so amazed that this theory turned out to be true. I never thought we'd get an answer to it, but everything just makes sense. And there was God, I can't believe her name, or I can't remember her name. She's been a great supporter of my channel, but like a year and a half ago, she wrote into me saying that because we've always been looking at Kim's ponytail and the significance of it, but she predicted that Kim's earrings would have some sort of significant role. And yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch just to double check, but I'm pretty sure that she still wears the earrings that her mom gave her in this flashback, or at least some that look like it.
Absolutely. I saw a lot of shoutbacks to those earrings in that episode. I absolutely agree with you. It was so great to finally get that and get more reasons why she's so attached to Jimmy and why she would fall for somebody like Slippin' Jimmy. I also have to applaud the casting of the actress that they got to play Kim's mom. Something about like the vocal cadence. She was studying the way the actress replays the character, and like her vocal cadence was very on point to how her mother would how I imagine Kim's mother would sound. The scene played out really awesome too. I got to admit, I don't know about you, but I was sort of fooled by it in the initial part. I was like, oh, Kim was someone that got in trouble and she always had that in her, but her parents pushed it out of her. That was like my first instinct watching the scene, and then it just turned around. The scene got me, dude. I don't know about you. It definitely got me.
Yeah, man, they had me hook, line, and sinker. I mean, at first I was a little bit suspicious because it seemed, kind of out of her mom's character to be like this, but I mean, someone's always different when they're sober compared to when they're drunk. So maybe her sober side is nice, but no. And just the fact that her nickname is Kimmy when she's young, it just makes the whole slippin' Kimmy, slippin' Jimmy parallel make just fit in that much nicer. And also, just because their names are so similar, a lot of people accidentally say Kim and Jim or Jimmy and Kimmy, but now Kimmy's canon, so there you go.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense now. Now I'm one of those people that I slip my Jimmy and always say slipping Kimmy. Let's get a couple of people in the live chat were asking about the broken arm guy. We'll get back to Kim in a second, but the broken arm guy and why he was so upset about that was because the pictures that they took later that they set up with the college team, which I'm glad those guys keep coming back. The film crew team, they're hilarious.
I love them,
and totally. They're so awesome, and they're so much part of the comedy of the show. So to keep bringing them in, and that's one of the interesting aspects of this show that really kind of, I don't know. I think it's a different dynamic that I don't always talk about. The fact that it is a human drama, but it's also leading to a humorous point. Like when Saul gets to the point where he's in the office, like the stuff with Francesca in the office is in the stuff with all the phones, seeing the drawer with the phones for the first time. All that stuff is comical to me because he was the comic relief of Breaking Bad. And it's, as we narrow into the end, yes, there's tragedy coming. Yes, there's all these other things, but also more comedy comes into it. The more we stay away from the cartel stuff, which is however people would think, and we're narrowing in on the Jimmy becoming Saul part of it. There's a lot more like just hilarious aspects to it, to the show as well, and I'm very much enjoying that. Even just like I'm a gas giant, as I mentioned earlier, like just funny asides and stuff.
Yeah, I love all the little comedic moments, like, oh, I think we found the Zodiac killer, and just little one-liners like that. Like they really play into the fact that Bob Odenkirk is just so good at comedy too, so they really utilize them to the best of their abilities.
Absolutely. So a little bit more about the Kim Open and then leading into her decision at the end. So she always, and I don't want to simplify it, but she always wants to satisfy her mother in that situation. And it's Jimmy's being vis-a-vis that role. But what's interesting to me about that, Kiwi, is that she fulfills a role of Chuck with him in a weird way. And so they have this weird symbiotic relationship, but is it like a Venom symbiotic relationship that's going to work, or is this going to be carnage and it's going to blow up in the end? And I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that dynamic between? Is this a good relationship, a good aspect, or is this ultimately going to be something Kim figures out and maybe eventually pushes Jimmy away because of it?
Okay, well, I'll give you just a short answer and then kind of a loaded answer. So, short answer, it is toxic. It is a toxic relationship, but kind of in the best way possible. And they always keep us guessing on this show because, as I kind of said, for the first 5 seasons, we're thinking, oh, when will Kim break up with Jimmy? And then from the season 5 finale and that sort of slipping Kimmy, double barrel cliffhanger, we're like, oh, is Jimmy gonna break up with Kim because now she's gone too far? And so that's kind of the current theory. And it's just that constant back and forth. And I think that it will, if they do, I mean, there's so many theories on where Kim could be by the time Breaking Bad happens, but if they do end up, separating, I think one of the theories is that, all of this, it's just going to go way too far. It's going to be too much for them to handle. They're not going to be able to live with it. And, I kind of wanted to jump into that whole that guy with the broken arm and Kim's decision at the end of the episode there. If you want to talk about that for a little bit.
Absolutely.
So I kind of want to bring, I mentioned this in one of my videos, parallel from Kim to Walter White, because now they've both been given the opportunity to do what they want legitimately. With Walt, it was with Gretchen and Elliot. With what was the name of their company again? I'm drawing a blank.
What is it called? The magic? No, that's the other one. Magical's Lydia.
I was about to say that too. Anyways, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, someone in the live chat's gonna say it. And
yeah. Oh, 3 seconds for 3 minutes from now, I'm just gonna bite my tongue. But anyways, they gave Walt the opportunity to get a job there. They were going to pay for his cancer treatment. He'd be able to, get money for his family legitimately. And then he decides to throw it all away to do what he wants, go down bad choice road and, cook some crystal. And Kim here is, getting a similar opportunity where she's talking to Cliff. She's possibly getting an opportunity to open gray matter.
Thank you,
so
Joseph.
much.
Yeah, thank you,
I
Joseph.
can't believe I forgot that. But
Both of us.
So yeah, so Kim's getting kind of a similar opportunity here where she's given the chance to possibly open her pro bono practice, which is the dream, right? That's what she wants to use the Sandpiper money for. That's her rationalization ever since the season 5 finale, that she's going to do this sort of Robin Hood thing, take from the rich, give to the poor. Even though she's going to tear down Howard, she's going to use it for good in order to help people that are in need and need that sort of legal representation. But now she's being given the opportunity to get that legitimately. So realistically, she could just go with that with Cliff and whatever she was going to go do in Santa Fe, and she doesn't even need to tear down Howard anymore. She doesn't need that Sandpiper money anymore, but she makes that decision to turn around and, ditch her meeting and go back and continue the Howard con. So she's going down bad choice road. And I just really love that parallel to Walt. It had to be intentional. I really think that, we thought that Jimmy would be the one breaking bad into Saul, but it really seems like Kim's the one breaking bad, pun intended.
Absolutely. And it seems like most of the focus of the story is around Kim changing and Kim developing, because Jimmy, as far as I can see, there's not much of a difference. Sorry, it's a little hot in here. There's not much of a difference between the Jimmy that we've seen all along. There's not much breaking of Jimmy. I know a lot of focus in the series has been put on the fact of Jimmy transforming into Saul, but ultimately in the series, most of the transformation that we've watched is the transformation of Kim as a character, and seeing her storyline from the points of being innocent, minion of Howard, but then now that we're seeing this sort of stuff, being a minion of her mother and being kind of similar to Jimmy, we're trying to push down some of her natural instincts and go into a legal direction. So it's very interesting. And a side note that I'm gonna break the fourth wall. I don't know why it's giving me a time limit here. If worse comes to worse, I'm just gonna create another one. I don't know if you can notice the events as time. I don't know why I'm getting a time limit. It's supposed to be unlimited for 2 people. But anyways, sorry, I just felt like complaining about Zoom for a second, everybody.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, but if you want to continue when that's up, I can start a new one. Anyways,
yeah.
Why would Cliff give Kim the opportunity when Howard has shaded her? I think that's part of the reason why he was asking her what her opinion of Howard is, and she gave the right answer with her little smug Cheshire cat smile she gave there, where she's just like, I have no problem with HHM. They're really awesome. But I think he sees something in her. I think her helping people, just like to go with Kiwi's comparison, just like Walter teaching people. When you see Walter teaching people, I truly believe he loves that. He's doing something that he cares about. He seems like a decent enough teacher. There's moments where he seems like a shitty teacher, but for the most part, he seems to care about, he won't give his students the extra grade, but even if you think about his warped relationship with Jesse, he has a very student relationship where he's teaching him how to cook meth. He enjoys the aspect of teaching, of doing, and I think in a different way, a different universe type thing, Kim really enjoys helping people. She does. She's good at it. She likes it. She gets off on it, and she enjoys it. And Cliff is impressed, like T-Rex says in the live chat. She's very impressed.
That's another thing too, in regards to sort of Cliff giving Kim a chance, even though Howard may not be too savvy of her. It reminds me back at the beginning of season 2, where Howard gave Jimmy a chance to go to Davison, Maine, even though Chuck didn't want that, obviously. And it's because, we're friends with people in this universe, and we kind of got to stick by our homies' sides. But at the same time, if they see that someone has potential, they want to give them that shot. And I think that this is kind of a similar situation here.
Absolutely. And especially when you think he probably has his opinions of Jimmy and thinks if he gives her the opportunity, she could be more and she could help more. He definitely sees something in her. So again, these last 2 seasons specifically on the show have been so Kim-centric, and I don't mean that as a complaint. I mean that as, and I've said this before, I think she's one of the more dynamically written characters I've seen on any show in a long, long time. Almost reminds me of the depth of something like, and again, obviously Breaking Bad, if I'm looking outside this universe, of someone like Dawn Draper, where she just has so many different levels and a past and focus. So much of this, the drama of the end of the series for me is invested in the outcome of Kim. How about for you? The end of this series, this and the Gene stuff, but those are the two things that have me the most on edge. How about yourself? Would you say it's similar for the things that have you most on edge for this series at the end?
Yeah, so I really feel like Kim has just sort of stolen the show in the best way possible. And just kind of referencing Breaking Bad again, the more and more I watch through that show, the more and more I like and enjoy and actually appreciate Skylar's character. Whereas sadly, or common or casual viewers just, don't really give her the credit, she deserves. They
Yeah.
kind of dislike her. And so even though I do like Skylar, I feel like they've taken, notes on what they did with that character and they've almost improved it for Kim's character. Even though, Skylar was, way better in regards to morals than Kim. Like Kim is, rolling around in the dirt with Jimmy. So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy how much more people love Kim's character in comparison, just because she is kind of a worse human being, but a lovable horrible human being. And I don't know, I'm just really excited and nervous of everything involving Kim, and even just little moments, because back when she had the car crash in an earlier season, and now just watching her drive here and doing the U-turn, I'm like, oh god, I hope she doesn't get T-boned or something when she's doing that illegal U-turn. Like I'm just always on edge when it comes to Kim and her decisions and the bad choice road that she chooses to go down, because the more wrong turns that you go down that road, it's harder and harder to come back out. So if she does a lot of bad and then a little good and then a lot of bad again, it's you almost forget about the little bit of good that she does. And the more and more that she goes down this rabbit hole, she's not going to be able to pull herself out of it.
No, and she's going to regret it all. And you can almost, at times, at least in this episode, you almost see some of the conflict on her when she looks at how other people are looking at her. I think through that mirror, it obscures it for her for a second. When she looks outside of the bubble that her and Jimmy have built in, their scammy little bubble that they're happy in. Because you look at the way when she's talking to Francesca, and Francesca's looking at her with this "I look up to you" kind of tone to speaking to her. And also the way that Cliff Main supports her and believes in her, I think makes her feel a little uncomfortable. And that adds also to why she turned around, because she's not that, she feels like I'm not this person anymore. But so I wonder, but I don't know how much of that is conscience and how much of that is she's just annoyed by it all. Like she doesn't have patience for it anymore. I think it's the latter. I think she's just like, yeah, this false praise. Get the hell out of here. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this right now. We're in scam territory. Either you're with me or you're against me. I think she's kind of thinking like that, but I think there might be some aspect too of she doesn't want to be reminded of her former self too much.
And it's kind of the same thing last episode in regards to her former paralegal assistant Viola, right? Like
Yep.
Viola just kept talking her up, how much of a motivation she is. And also in regards to the whole Francesca Kim reunion, I really loved that scene, and I just thought it was absolutely hilarious, but also kind of heartwarming, because it really gave back to some season 3 vibes. And you can really tell just sort of the mood shift that Francesca has in regards to talking to Kim compared to Jimmy. Like when she's talking to Jimmy, she has that sort of bitter attitude that we know her for in Breaking Bad. But then the second she sees Kim, she just switches back to that sweet, innocent season 3 receptionist. And to be honest, I thought that I guess there's a little hint of that still left in her, but the more that she starts working with Jimmy, that's going to be completely gone by the time that Breaking Bad happens.
Oh, I think it might be gone in the split between the seasons.
Yeah.
I do want to say that we're running out of time on the Zoom call. If you want to continue, I know you might need to get to working on your stuff tonight as well. You're welcome to come back, and I can set up a second meeting, or we can just say we could talk next time in between seasons. It's completely up to your call if you want to stick around for a little bit longer. I can easily set up another meeting.
Yeah. Let's set up another meeting at least for another 10 minutes or so. I would like to touch on the whole Ed the Disappear thing,
Awesome.
everything that has to do with Lalo and all that. So I got a little bit more in me for sure.
Perfect. I will send you because this is going to self destruct. It's just gonna disconnect in a minute. So I will set that up and send it to you in a moment. So I'll look for you to pop back in. So everyone, the Kiwi is going to disappear for a second, but we'll be back. I promise you. And welcome. I'll talk a little bit to the chat right now as we're going. Shelly, been watching you since Game of Thrones days. Shelly, thank you so much for popping on in there. He put the peace sign in the coffee for her and he rejected. Oh, well, we're going to talk about Howard in a minute too here. So I'm going to end this meeting right now and start a new one and send this back out. I'm not sure why it ended quick. Again, I'm talking Zoom nonsense right now. So I'm gonna have to multitask here for a second to get the Kiwi back in here. But let me this is a good opportunity to play some voicemails. Let's go for area code 331 while I do this.
Keep rocking, man. Love this podcast you're doing. It's awesome. All right, what are your thoughts on this? So since Lalo has seen the plaque, the bottom of the plaque, he knows who built it. He's going to find out the boys, right? The crew from Werner Ziegler. Is there any doubt whatsoever that the one he's going to go after is Kai? We're going to see Kai again. It has to be Kai. Who else from the group of the boys had any, significant attention? It was always shit with Kai fucking up. Mike had to punch him in the nose or whatever, and at the end, getting kicked out of the strip club, all that stuff. It's got to be Kai. I'm thinking Lalo is going to go and approach Kai. And, those guys, that's probably what it is.
This message didn't age well. I thought it was Kai. Well, we'll get the Kiwi said it when we were talking earlier. The show said it was the other guy, the not Kai guy. So I don't know who it was exactly. Let me set this up. Let me copy this friggin' shit. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I'm not necessarily good at multitasking. So it ended up being one of the other guys. I kind of wished it was Kai with all the crap that he gave Mike. I wouldn't have minded seeing him be the one that ended up getting it in that situation. So let me open this up. The Kiwi will disappear. The Kiwi will disappear in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let me know. No, a new meeting has been started. No. Is this the one? Sorry, everybody. I'm so unprofessional setting this up right now. Let me see. I think I have it set up ready to go, but I could be wrong. It's all messed. It's messed up. That was a brutal leg worm. It was Casper punched the man in the face. Let's listen to Pete Live music message.
I need to know everything he does and everyone he talks to. That's what Howard told his private eye about following Jimmy. So what if Jimmy ends up having a conversation with Mike? If he has a conversation with Mike and the private eye got wind of it, then that introduces Howard into the whole Mike Ermintrout death scenario in an indirect way. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Who knows at this show, man? It's amazing. Doing a great job. Keep it up. We'll catch you on the next recap.
And I think I did. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm failing with the setting up the event there. And I do think there's going to be some crossover stuff that sets up really soon that we see Mike and Saul together. I highly doubt that we're going to go through the whole situation without seeing more of them together. So I definitely see a situation where we get them together. I did it. I freaking did it. There we go. I was able to do it. So we got the Kiwi back in there. Sorry about that, everyone. That took a little time, but we got him back in. His audio will be in a second, but I got him there.
Hey, I think I'm back. Let's go.
Yeah, you are. Sorry, it took a little bit. It was a little confusing because I ended up switching some stuff. But what
No
what
worries.
what is this your first? What is this your first show? Yeah, I haven't done this before. This is my very first time.
I'm not too used to Zoom either, so I'm not much help in the tech department here.
No, it actually shouldn't have. Not I don't want to waste too much time on this, but it shouldn't have ever ended. But anyways, we got to at least 11:30 here. So okay, so when we get into anything else you want to say about Kim before we get off the Kim flashback stuff at this point, or are we ready to move on to talk a little bit about some other aspect?
Oh yeah, just one thing, either the best or worst take ever. Who the heck was the actor that played Kim's mom? Because for a second I straight up thought it was just Ray Seahorn
Dude,
dressed up as a different character.
Dude, I said that for a second too. She had the voice so perfect. I thought for a second too, did they age her up? Was it actually her playing her mom? Because they did such a good job with the casting of it. So it's
Is
fun.
that some weird CGI going
Yeah.
on there?
Yeah, I thought it was as well. Joseph says, I think the Jimmy anticipated the PI and lured him into taking the photos to look like Jimmy was bribing the judge to engineer a false accusation. Do you think that Jimmy knows Howard's following him? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of a theory just because I mean like okay, so Kim and Jimmy know that Howard is onto them now because just the whole boxing ring thing was kind of like an admission of guilt just in regards to Jimmy actually going for it because Howard's tried talking to Jimmy many times throughout the past few seasons, back after Chuck died, and then trying to offer him a job at HHM, and then confronting him about the whole bowling ball situation of it
Mm-hmm.
all. And Jimmy's always just kind of spat back in his face. So he's like, okay, I've tried to talk to him the normal way. Let's go a bit unconventional because that's how Jimmy or Saul Goodman is. And if Jimmy wouldn't have gone in the boxing ring, then maybe Howard would have thought, okay, maybe he isn't up to anything. Maybe this isn't him. But just the fact that he did fight him in the ring, and then Howard goes out to the PI and says it's on, like that was sort of Jimmy's admission of guilt of yes, this is me
Ah.
doing it. And so, but the thing is that when they go but or when Jimmy goes back home to with Kim in the apartment, they're not freaking out like, oh my god, he's on to us, what are we gonna do? They're calm and collected, they're just moving on with the next plan. And so I think what they're going to do is they're going to use this to their advantage where they know that Howard is following them, and they're going to misdirect him and feed him false information and possibly make him look like a fool.
To your points, Jay in the live chat makes a great point. Saul has a bag of money. Why would he pull money out of the bank when he has the bag of money? Just to kind of throw out certain information towards Howard to give him false information or the information he wants to get out there. Bryce says Howard is going to think Saul gave the $20K to a mediator and he might bring it up to someone with Kim and Jimmy's eye drops, making him look crazy. I love the eye drop situation, that whole stuff, and bringing back the veterinarian that leads us into, we see the black book that ends up being Saul's Rolodex. That if people didn't notice this, and I was asking the Kiwi about this before the show to make sure that we do see the black book in some of the stuff that the feds were repossessing at the beginning of episode 1. It was, you said it was mixed in with some of his stuff.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, the pre-Easter egg for this episode because the creators of the show said on the Insider podcast, there's a lot of things in episode 601 that we won't really fully understand until we see more episodes of the season and then go back and look at it. And this is honestly the one main thing that we were all expecting to see eventually. We didn't know how, we didn't know when, but we were expecting to see it. And there was actually someone messaged me on Twitter saying that they made a Reddit post just completely decoding this whole book. So it is Caldera's contact book, as he told them. And there's a lot of people in there, such as Huel, QB, I believe Nacho was in there, but he's crossed out now.
That's amazing.
Mr. X, Stephen Ogg. So yeah, there's pretty much just all of the criminal connections that we've seen Caldera have, and I believe I'm gonna have to go back and look at that Reddit post again, but I'm pretty sure there's a few that we haven't even met yet, so that's really interesting for sure. On top of Ed the Disappears card, like what the heck?
Yep.
In regards to that, so we always thought, the most common answer of how Jimmy or Saul gets Ed to disappear as contact is that it's Caldera. So that turns out to be true, but not in the way that we think, because Caldera is retiring from the game. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense, because back in season 4, when he was saving Nacho's life, kind of stitching him up, he said, I'm done with all this cartel crap. And so we were always wondering who's the first person that's going to get disappeared. I think that Caldera is the first person that is going to disappear via Ed. And so this answers the huge plot hole of why doesn't Mike know about Ed? Because the creators of the show have made that very, very clear that Mike never knew about Ed the Disappear in Breaking Bad. And if he did, he would have disappeared. And also kind of screw you, Saul, for not giving Mike that contact. But I guess if he gave Mike the contact, then Gus would know, and then disappearing wouldn't even be safe.
Right, it would defeat the purpose of it all. And
exactly.
It's just amazing that one little piece unlocked all of that, because it really did. And that's so cool that they know that they have to make a real code for people to cipher in that thing. Otherwise, people are going to say, that was just gibberish. That's how deep that these guys go with Peter Gould and Vince Gilligan and all their directors and show creators. And I'm glad that you watched the Insiders podcast, because we're going to take a quick break from talking about this episode, just talk about this week's Better Call Saul Insiders podcast. Special information that came from last week's is the big point of addition that Vince Gilligan brought to the last couple of episodes. He said the only addition he actually had was the toilet in the office. The toilet in the office was a buddy of him was renting an office, and they walked into a place that they were about to rent, and there was a toilet in there with a duty in there, and the real estate agents kept trying to sell the place to rent it. Where Saul's office used to be a saloon. There was a mechanical bull in there. There was an outdoor patio that was built in between the time of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul that needed to be destroyed. It's right near some place called the Marble Brewery in Albuquerque, New Mexico, if you want to see it. A lot of office scenes were shot out of order, and all in one day due to logistical issues. So a lot of the scenes that we see shot in Saul's office were all shot in the same day. For anyone that cares about that kind of stuff, which is unusual for this show, which usually shoots stuff in individual episodes. So some directors were having to do some crossover stuff and got to work together a little bit. So a lot of the stuff filmed in the office was filmed together.
Yeah, was that in the last week's Insider podcast? Because I listened to that, but I must have missed that point.
Yeah, they talked about that in passing with one of the directors in reference to the toilet, because they were talking about how the director of last week's and Kim, and the actress played Kim, had to coordinate on how they were going to shoot the toilet.
Yeah, speaking about the toilet, I bet they regret getting rid of that now because of that guy pissing in. What was that? A mirror, a fountain, some sort of decorative piece? Like, what the heck was that?
That was awesome.
I would have cut that guy as a client. I don't know. Saul has some restraint, not giving that guy a hard time, just being like, finish what you're doing. Okay, let's go back to your case now. Like, what the heck, man? Oh my.
Yeah. It's funny. Like my mind auto-corrected that the toilet was still in there, even though we just saw it in the dumpster. That's why we saw it in the dumpster right before, just so we made sure we knew that he was actually pissing in the office. We have a couple of text messages in a voicemail. Let's 810 says, man, I felt bad for Howard this episode. I actually want Howard to fall, but man, it hurt to see him try little things with his wife and just get rejected. It was interesting to see more of Howard tonight at the beginning of the episode, and seeing him have a very interesting dynamic with his wife. Seems to be sleeping in different bedrooms. He makes her a nice coffee with the peace side. She dumps it into a travel container. Through all this, do you feel bad for Howard? Do you have pity for Howard as a person? Do you like Howard? What are your opinions on Howard Hamlin at this point?
Oh, I have yes, all of those things. So I try to reel myself back a little bit, because I am just, fully on the Howard Hamlin train. I will defend him. I'm a Howard stan, but at the same time, rewatching the show, even though he is Chuck's puppet, even though he, kind of just doesn't have a backbone, he needs to do what Chuck says, because not only is he his partner, he's kind of his father figure, and then also he was his father's partner, so that might be one of the only connections he has left in regards to his father, whether or not he is even still alive. And so I don't know, like after like I love they did sort of like a quick like 60-second recap your whole character on Twitter thing before season 6 came out. And one of the things that stuck with me is that Patrick Fabian said, "Oh, you think that Howard is Darth Vader, and then you realize that Chuck is Darth Vader and Howard's not." And that just whole idea of Chuck being the bad guy and not Howard really just makes you like Howard and not hate him anymore. But then even especially at just that one moment in the end of the first episode of season 4, the season 4 premiere, where Howard goes to Jimmy and Kim and he's saying about how he thinks that Chuck's death is his fault and he feels so bad. And then Jimmy says, "Well, that's your cross to bear." And just the look on Howard's face and even the way that Kim looks at him, that just breaks my heart.
Me too. It makes me so sad. It makes me so sad. You feel so bad for him in some ways, because in some ways he is an innocent guy. I think he's more multi-layered. I compared him in some ways to Ted Beneke in a different podcast, saying that he's this show's Ted Beneke, but he's much more a depthful character than Ted Beneke. Similar to what you can say. Well, I think Skylar's still. I agree with you. I'm not a Skylar hater. If we're setting up shows for characters to hate, I'll hate on Carmela Soprano. If we're talking about people that were culpable in actions, Skylar was never okay with what happened, and the biggest crime she did with Walter is not defending him, cheating on him. Like, we can get into that. We can talk about that on a different podcast. Which I'm
Skylar pod,
a Skylar pod, which I'm absolutely down to do. But really, I think Howard. They said this in the Insiders podcast, so I want to mention that I stole it. But in the moment when Howard knocks Jimmy out, and you see it and feel it in this episode too, Howard is not the bad guy. I don't know if that means Jimmy's the bad guy or Jimmy's a good. How in this situation, in most situations, Howard's not a bad guy. He's a douche, if anything. But does a douche make you a horrible person? It just makes you a douche, and that's just what that's like. He can't help it. It's almost. Just in his voice, he can't help it. He's a douche. I mean, he's a nice douche though. I'd work for him. I'd be his intern. He'd be good to work for. It wouldn't be a problem. I don't know. Howard's all right.
And I mean, the one thing that people still hold against Howard is the fact that after he got Mesa Verde for HHM, that Howard left him in the doghouse, so to speak. But then there's one specific scene where Howard goes over and has a drink with Chuck at his house late at night, and Chuck says, "Oh, Kim's still in the doghouse, I presume." And sort of the leading way that he says that implies that he wants Howard to keep her in the doghouse. So even that was still Chuck, right? So, and I do think Howard's a little bit of a prick, a little bit of a douche, but that's just his character. And it's so much to the point that you can't, like, is this guy really for real? But no, that's just actually the way that he is. And
it's natural. It's organic. He's organically a douche.
Yeah. And I mean, even when he's talking to his wife, someone tweeted at me during the live tweets and said that he talks to his wife as if she's a client. And that is just so true. And they do a really good job just showing how estranged their marriage is and how jaded Cheryl is to all of this. And I really do like how we see Howard's house for the first time. We actually get to see his wife, and they kind of revealed his wife in the same way that they revealed Chuck's ex-wife, where first you just see her name on some music sheet paper, and then eventually she gets revealed in a flashback, and then more so in season 3. And it's kind of the same thing with Cheryl. You just kind of hear her name in passing while he's talking to his therapist, and then they actually give the full reveal. So I'm really glad that we saw Cheryl on screen, and I'm also really glad that she already knows about the bowling balls and the sex workers being sent to Howard and Cliff's work, just because, at least she's going to somewhat believe him. It's not going to be, oh, she thinks that all of this is true, so they're going to divorce. It's just, it might be to the point that Howard gets so obsessed with taking Jimmy down and defending himself that maybe Cheryl's like, you know what, I believe you, none of this even is true, but I've honestly just had enough with it all.
Right. And to piggyback off that point, I feel like Howard's the kind of guy that even if it wasn't Jimmy, he always has to have some enemy that he's railing against in some ways. And to go to what that's in that makeup of the douchery. And to your point about Chuck, 100%. Chuck was like the Emperor whispering into Anakin's ears through that whole situation with Howard. Howard, you mentioned Darth Vader earlier, but like Howard's more Anakin than Darth Vader in the way that the Emperor Palpatine is whispering to him. And Anakin, if you kill younglings, good things will happen. Do it, Anakin. Like go out there, Hamlin.
I'll cheers to that.
Jack Me Off in the live chat says Hamlin, douche, and McGill. That sounds right. Jackie C says a nice douche, I suppose.
Man, you're getting so used to saying that guy's name. You just make me laugh every time you do. Like, the amount of out of context clips, man. Oh my goodness.
Oh, we got Toady Pajamas in the live chat. One quick aside, because I'm always down for answering questions. Area code 504. I'm going to be very vague because people don't watch the show. I know I'm in the wrong live, but I can never catch you live. I have a quick question about another show. Why didn't the townspeople ever make weapons out of the talismans? It's a good damn question, and I think because they just didn't get to that point. They found them when Boyd found them later on. He just didn't have an opportunity to really experiment with that. I think when he gets back from the lighthouse situation, he's going to be focusing on that a little bit more. Okay, that's for you, area code 504. Next subject. Area code 331. Do you think Howard's coffee art would have worked better if it was a Mercedes logo? Like he bought her one? No, I don't think it's that. I think it's just kind of what the Kiwi was saying, where she's just sick of Howard is, you saw it in the therapy session too. I think that's why we saw Howard in therapy. Howard is like this. He's one of those guys that can't help but talk business, talks to everyone like a client. You've seen those people. They can't really talk to you. They're always on. They're always going. You can't have a conversation with them. They're more talking to you in the way that they're expressing, this is what's going on with me. Help me with this. And this is what I'm doing. And da-da-da-da. And I get the feeling like she probably has reached her end with Howard, but she still, doesn't want to go through a messy situation. So this is my headcanon of it. They're having a trial separation, sleeping in separate bedrooms, but working on it through therapy sessions, that they're both going to therapy individually and as a couple. And they're in that transitional phase while they're trying to work it out. That's my headcanon of it, Kiwi. That they're trying to work this out, but it's on its way out.
Well, not to derail too much, and also I'll try to keep this spoiler free for people that haven't seen the show, but I really hope that Howard and Cheryl's marriage counseling goes better than in Ozark, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yes, we could definitely talk about that on a different time as well. And I tried the same thing in my contract, but I only had 50 cents on me and it didn't work. Okay, so this is area code. Here's a voicemail from area code 331.
Hey Phil, which character's scenes did you anticipate more? Tyrion Lannister in Game of Thrones or Lalo Salamanca in Better Call Saul?
Okay, I can definitely answer that question because by the end of Game of Thrones, Tyrion scenes weren't as indulgently awesome, and I feel like we get just enough Lalo at the right times and that he is just perfect. So I anticipated it a lot. They built up to it, and just to transition this, great point to lead into the Lalo part of this. Lalo scenes never cease to amaze me in how they shock me in some way. When this goes to the Nacho thing that I was talking about after episode 3, where they call their shots sometimes, you knew Lalo was going to Jack Bauer his way out of that situation somehow. You just knew it was going to happen. I didn't but for a second, maybe I was like, does random German guy kill Lalo? That's not happening right now. Lalo's playing. He's playing it. And
what if it did? How messed up how anticlimactic.
Dude, how angry would you and I be coming out here tonight talking about that if that was what happened?
I'd be freaking out, man. I'd be equally pissed as shocked. But I mean, that would have, and just because that is kind of just the one complaint I have with this scene, is that the fact that he hits Lalo with the back of the axe is just a little bit plot armory.
Super.
But to end that with sort of a compliment, I love the way that Lalo is just laying there in pain, wheezing, trying to talk, trying to give answers to these questions, but he's just struggling so hard, just showing how much pain he's in and how how real that hit was. But man, that guy really should have hit him with the sharp end while he had the chance, because oh my, what happens directly after is just
Dude,
wow.
seriously,
Just wow.
your instinct, if you have an instinct that something's wrong, if you're getting the spider sense in that situation, someone's chasing after you, like Jason walking through the woods, just coming at you in this psychotic way, chasing you all the way through, and the whole lead up to that, and you actually get the jump on the guy, what in bloody, you're right, what in bloody armor, I don't want to throw too down, and maybe he wanted to ask questions, he wanted to figure out where he was from to a certain extent, but seriously, why didn't he just like chop a limb off or hit him with the to do a Game of Thrones comment? It's rule number 1: you hit him with the pointy end. Like, well, why didn't he have that thing turned around? Jeepers.
Yeah, what the heck? I mean, like, I was really hoping that we were going to get some sort of Jack Torrance, like, The Shining situation going on where, I mean, maybe he's trying to hunt down Lalo because he gets the gun or gets the gun off of him, or maybe Lalo gets the axe from him and then Lalo's kind of hunting him down. I don't know. I just would have loved a little bit of a Shining reference there. That would have been awesome. But
oh, thank you, FM in the chat, for being the person that, because someone said it. One of the questions when I was trying to set up the Zoom call and bumbling around was was a question from last week that said, "What do you want to bet that Lalo, the guy that Lalo bumps into, is going to be Kai?" And I was like, "Oh, that question didn't age well." But I couldn't remember who the guy's name. We were calling him before the show, not Kai, or I was calling him that. FM says his name was Casper. Casper could have easily ended Lalo, but of course he didn't. And you now, thank you so much for popping on in here, and thank you to everyone that's jumped on in here tonight. If you're in here enjoying the chat, please hit that like button and share this out so it can get out to more people and keep the calls in. We got the Kiwi.
Yes, like the video, like the stream. I love it. I love this guy's streams. They're great.
Thank you, Kiwi. It's the good first time to have you here, and I can't wait to do something with you in the off season as well.
Definitely.
And here we go. Let's take a couple more voicemails here. Lead us around. Area code 403.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's Mike Airman Trout.
Jeez.
I'm just calling to say it was really sad when I watched my granddaughter look up at the stars, because in the end, I couldn't give her the moon.
Thank you, Pup Pup. Pup Pup, you're a very nice Pup Pup. The Mike scene was interesting tonight. Another Kaylee scene, more of Mike. Is there much they left besides the way he could be integral to crossover plots or one-on-one against Lalo? But for the most part, with Mike's story, there's not much more to it at this point, right? I mean, we've seen everything that is Mike. I guess the only thing that's left for me to be answered with Mike is, how does he become so committed to Gus? I guess when Lalo finally shows his face, Mike is going to be like, oh my goodness, this guy is the best ever. Like because Mike doesn't really believe Lalo's alive. Because I don't think anyone thinks Lalo's alive but Gus, really. His crew's just following his orders. So I guess Mike might be totally, like, when it finally comes out, he's going to be like, you're the greatest of all time, Gus, and be attached to him to a certain extent.
Well, so I mean, I got a prediction that I just thought up in the last 10 seconds.
Do it.
Because, and I kind of want to preface it first, because the whole Kaylee Stacy arc of the show, like, as much as I do enjoying seeing his family life and all of that, because it is really important to him, everything involving his family we kind of got in 5-0 in season 1. So everything with them, you know, otherwise, especially in season 2 with Stacy being paranoid about hearing gunshots and all of that, like, that didn't really go anywhere. So as much as I like their actors, as much as I like seeing that family dynamic, it's kind of, you know, low-key the most boring part of the show. But to get into what I was going to say, I do like how, you know, they're not really showing them unless they need to. And this sort of plays into the fact of Mike stopped having his men at his house, but does he have men at their house? Because, I mean, and as far as why he might become so devoted to Gus, the theory that I thought of in the last 10 seconds is, what if Lalo or some sort of danger falls upon them and somehow Gus or Gus's men defend them? I mean, that's just a random theory I just thought of in the last 10 seconds. But I mean, defending his family is definitely something that would make Mike fall in line, because, and I mean, excuse me, I mean, the whole thing about the Breaking Bad Better Call Saul universe, it's almost a meme, right? When's the moment that Walt became Heisenberg? When's the moment that Kim became Wendy? When's the moment that Jimmy became Saul? When's the moment that Mike became No Half Measure Mike? And it's been a very gradual evolution throughout the whole show. There's a lot of little moments, but not just one key moment. And I think that Mike is pretty much there, pretty much the Breaking Bad Mike that we know, but I do think there's one or two more stepping stones that we have yet to see.
Right, especially how he finds that potion to make him a little bit younger too. But I won't worry about that too much. But yes, Mike is the last Mike thing to do. I think would be something interesting to save his family, possibly, because they did mention they're doing a lot of this. So I'm not putting any stock into one being the truthful foreshadowing. I think they're on purpose throwing it out that he could go anywhere, by having Mike say, oh, we're watching the lawyer's place, we're watching this place, we're watching this place. Where will Lalo show up? At first, I thought the Lalo stuff would be finished by the end of this half a season. Now I'm not too sure. Does he show up early part of next episode? Is that the cliffhanger thing that Peter Gould's talked about? That he said, we didn't know this was going to be a split season, but after episode 7 is a big one that you would have had to wait a week. I think he said something like that in one of the more recent Insiders podcast, where when they initially were planning this out, they weren't planning for the cut in the seasons, but episode 7 ended up being a real big one that leaves off on something huge. So I wonder, do you think is Lalo gone by the end of next week?
Geez.
I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's all good. That's just kind of a loaded question. I mean, I think that we're going to see more of Lalo and going, maybe it'll be the end of Lalo by episode 608. Maybe 607 will be kind of a cliffhanger. What I'm hoping, though, is that we'll see the end of sort of this Howard arc in 607. I'm really hoping that they either settle Sandpiper or something goes wrong or something involving that in regards to that. I hope that the whole Howard arc will end by the end of next episode, just so we have the whole back half of the season to explore other story arcs and possibilities. But I think we got a little bit more of Lalo. I mean, we missed him for like 4 episodes, and now he's finally back. He's really only been in, the last episode, he was in a huge chunk of it there at the end, but we've only really seen a little bit of him here and there in the past 2 episodes. So I really think that he's going to be a force to reckon with whenever he does return to Albuquerque or Mexico, wherever he goes to bring the proof. And I do, thanks to the person in chat that told us that the name was Casper, because I personally did think that he was going to see Kai. I remembered Casper as the guy that was told Mike, Werner was worth 1,000 of you. But I did find it surprising that Casper is the guy that Lalo goes and confronts instead of Kai. Maybe we'll see Kai next. But then again, they already kind of did that this episode. I don't really think they're going to retread the same ground. And they're showing a lot of things off screen, right? Like last episode, we saw Lalo see the manufacturer to the acrylic slide rule. And then we kind of skipped over Lalo going to the manufacturer and getting the info of who ordered it. So likewise, I think we might skip Casper giving him the info. Even if he does go and see Kai, I think we'll skip that. Hopefully in the next episode, we'll see Lalo back across the pond.
Yeah. So let's take a couple more voicemails here. This is area code 408. I think this is just a birthday message for me.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
Okay, I'll shut the fuck up, Tim.
Also, happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, Tim. That's one of our good long-time listeners, Tim, area code 408. Merle in the live chat right now. It's at 12 midnight. It's both of our birthdays on the East Coast. So happy birthday to you, Tim. Area code 347. Let's see.
Hey, Phil. Tony Pajamas here. Just want to say I'm really loving the stream. And I really loving the season. Keep it up. Thank you. What's up?
Thank you, buddy, for leaving that message. And here's area code 403.
Hey, it's Mike Trout again. This is a message for T-Rex, who said it was a half measure. Don't make me come and make it a full measure.
Thank you, Mike. Don't mess with anyone. Maud Mary giving us the super chat donation. Thank you so much for that super chat, Maud Mary. Slipping Kimmy's mom. Kim learned at an early age to scan and parent her mom, paralleling her relationship with Jimmy. We were talking a little bit about that earlier, but I don't mind going into that a little bit again too. That was probably the biggest reveal and most amazing part of the episode, and really sandwiched with the end of it as well too, that we got that completion of Kim and learned more about her foundation. So I know we talked a little bit about that earlier, but for Maud Mary, it's you can rewind a little bit, but I think we both loved that aspect of the episode.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how they showed that. It really answered all of our theories, and we really hit that on the nail on the head, honestly. I really enjoy how we get to see how her relationship with her mother parallels her relationship with Jimmy, and that's why she feels so comfortable with Jimmy, which is surprising because, you know, you think that everything Jimmy's done, that she would want to leave him, that she'd want to distance herself from him, but every time that he sort of does something similar to the way that her mom used to act, Kim gets reeled in just because she has that comfortability level. And, you know, who knows whatever happened in regards to her relationship with her mom. Like, is her mom still alive? Do they still talk? Do they have an estranged relationship? Did her mom eventually die in a drunk driving car accident or something like that? Like, who knows? Maybe their relationship is estranged and it's impossible to revolve because her mom's not around anymore. So she's kind of grabbing onto Jimmy in regards to that. And we always wondered about this just because Kim, when she talked to Rich in her interview back in season 2, she said that her life wasn't going anywhere. She was going to work at the Hinky Dinky or, you know, the local grocery store. And then she decided to turn her life around and become, you know, on the straight and narrow, become a lawyer and become a workaholic. And that wasn't always Kim. And this proves it. So I really enjoy the flashback. It's honestly everything we could ask for.
Absolutely. And great breakdown of it. And I also wonder, just to go off that a little bit, with what happened to Kim's mom. Did Kim turn her back on that sort of lifestyle in a way? Because when you get to be a little older of a teenager, regardless of even if it's something you deep inside want to do, and she's deep inside corrupt, she sort of goes in the opposite direction to sort of go against her mother and rebel a little bit, and rebelling against her mother was becoming a straight and narrow lawyer, and that might have set up the conflict between them. And perhaps one thing about the Kim situation we did not mention is there any relevance to the fact that the license plate that we see on the mother's car is a Nebraska plate? And the Nebraska thing with the Cinnabon Saul stuff, and because I know some people have theories about seeing Kim eventually in the Gene timeline, and she's somewhere in Nebraska, and if there's any relevance of that. I'm not sure necessarily about that, but I did want to mention that. I did want to mention about the Nebraska plate that the mother has as well.
I do have a few things to say about that, just because, well, I do think, or I would like to think, that we'll see a Kim and Gene reunion. And maybe the reason why we haven't seen Gene this season yet is because Kim is going to be in the Gene scene. And since that happens in the future, they don't want to spoil that Kim is quote unquote safe for the rest of the season. So they're waiting for the current Better Call Saul timeline to unfold, and then when we jump into Gene, then we might see a Kim reunion. But the thing is, and they might have to retcon this or work around it, is that when Saul is getting disappeared by Ed and we see him getting his photo taken for his new fake ID, he asks Ed, what's in Nebraska? And Ed says you. So yep. There's been certain situations where the person being disappeared does get to choose where they go to, like Jesse got to choose to go to Alaska. But in this case, it was Ed that chose that Jimmy should go to Omaha. And the way that Jimmy responds is not like, oh, Kim's there. And obviously that was created before Kim's character was a thing, before Better Call Saul was a thing. So, but, you know, working in universe, just the fact that Ed chose that location for him might be a coincidence. It might be a convenient coincidence. But yeah, we know from the previous, I think it was episode 505. I can't remember exactly. There was a flashback last season where we saw Kim as a kid, and she was in Red Cloud, which is on the Kansas-Nebraska border.
Yep. And this is just a more down that line of that storyline. So I think there is some substance there. There's some smoke there. John Drew says, I'll never get involved in any other show on AMC. I can't stand the content versus commercials. I highly recommend binge watching it then on apps after the fact, just to kind of get away from the commercials. because I don't blame you. Commercials are tough for me, and I'm sure the Kiwi as well. Sometimes the commercials allow me to gather my notes that I'm taking or when I'm writing stuff, to get a breather in there, rest my hands for a second. But ultimately, I agree with you. It's much better to watch something without commercials. But I feel like this show is one of the last that actually plays into the breaks. But those AMC commercial breaks are long. I can't deny it. They milk the hell out of these commercial
Yeah.
commercial
Yeah,
things.
well, I mean, I definitely agree, and that's the thing about, I feel like a lot of people jumped on board with Better Call Saul for season 6, kind of the similar way that a lot of people jumped on board with Breaking Bad for its final season.
Yep.
So maybe a lot of people are used to binge watching the whole show, and now it's like, oh, we got to wait week to week and all these commercials. But yeah, as far as the content creation side of it, it definitely gives me a moment to collect my notes, think about the videos I'm going to do for the week, and then I also live tweet during the episode's airing, so it gives me a second to shoot out a tweet or see the responses.
Exactly.
It is nice having a little bit of a breather from the content perspective side of it. But yeah, I can't help but notice that, like, sometimes you're halfway through the hour and you're in a commercial break and you're like, oh, it feels like the episode just started, like it's already half over, what the heck. So
yeah, and then you're like, I waited a week to this. So it's an antiquated model where you're waiting a week for it and you're getting less content and you're watching more AMC commercials, and I think watching something, to your point, watching something, binge watching it gives you a different feel than watching it week to week. Your expectations are all different. We're running a little bit out of time for you, and I know you got to go anyway, so let's take last couple of texts that we have in the last voicemail if we can get to it. This is from, I just noticed that Kim didn't wear her signature ponytail on D-Day. She actually does it very similar to her mom in the cold open. Never mind, she does wear a ponytail in the car. Oops, my bad. Sorry, 8110. Good thought. 4015 says, what is the possibility that Saul and Kim are trying to get the whole Sandpiper case thrown out, especially with the implications of a judge taking the bribe? It would certainly call into question the judge himself, setting the case itself back at least. I know that's a loaded first time calling in as well. Or 405, thank you so much for the first time. I think that's definitely a possibility. I would not put it past them. It's definitely obviously something to do with the judge, and that would make a little bit of sense. So what do you think about that? The caller's thought there?
I mean, they definitely do want the case to settle, right? Because Jimmy and Kim want the $2 million that they're going to get from Jimmy's percentage from founding the case. So I don't really think they want it necessarily thrown out, but they do want to do everything that they can in order to maybe make HHM and Davis and Maine, or that whole side of it, look bad, just so that instead of trying to, stretch the case out or the settlement out for as long as they can to squeeze every last dollar, they'll just cut their losses, or winnings rather, and just be like, all right, let's settle it with what we have now. And then Jimmy and Kim, voila, are millionaires.
And we're running out of time with the Kiwi, so I don't want to get cut off and not get to say thank you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight to babble about this episode. And we're definitely going to do something in the off season as well. And I'm going to wait and talk to you until you disappear here. But thank you so much. And if you haven't already and you're in the live chat right now, please jump in, subscribe to the Vivid Kiwi right now, and check out all of his breakdowns and theory videos on Better Call Saul. It was really awesome having you. I mean, you're welcome to join for the recap too, but I know it's going to be a long night here. So I appreciate you sticking around for longer than anticipated at first. So I very much appreciate it, and I hope you had a good time, and you're welcome back anytime, my friend.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. We've been going for like an hour now or something.
Yeah, about an
like
hour or
that.
so.
I mean, the time just flew by. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of new to live streams. I've only done a few at this point, but it's really fun. I could see doing more in the future, especially hopping on to your stream, especially during the mid-season premiere. I'm sure we'll talk behind the scenes more about it. Maybe
100%.
Work out some of these Zoom kinks. But yeah, I'm a bounce out now because I want to go and do a trailer breakdown for the next episode. So I really appreciate all the support. I've been sort of reading the chat as I can. And I love all the people in here right now. I mean, I've been a big fan of your channel, honestly, for the past few years, even with The Walking Dead and all of that.
No, it's fun. It's a fun to talk about the walking disaster, sinking ship. It's a good time. We have a good time talking about it.
Yeah. I'm definitely out of time here, so I'm gonna peace out before this Zoom call cuts me off. But yeah, thanks for having me on, and I look forward to being on again in the future.
Absolutely. We'll 100% have you back. Thank you so much, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Have a good rest of your stream with the recap.
Thank you. Talk to you
Yeah.
soon. And that everyone, that was the Vivid Kiwi joining us for a quick discussion here. Ended up joining us for an hour. Really awesome conversation. And sorry for the little bit of the technical gaffe in the middle with the Zoom conversation, but it was really awesome to have the Kiwi. And thank you anyone that's coming on over here that the Kiwi shared out this video. Very much appreciate all you guys. Hope you stick around for the rest of the stream. But please, either way, give this video a like, give this video a share, and stick subscribed. I'll be streaming after every episode of Better Call Saul, and hopefully have the Kiwi back popping on here and there, and also some other shows coming up soon. So Larry Daniels, thank you so much. Jay, Softbatch, oh man, The Walking Dead's like a bad ex-girlfriend. You can't get rid of it. Absolutely is. Kim is overconfident for the success. I'm about to watch it. Maybe a shot of vodka. I think if a seasoned pro like Saul says abort, you're abort. Okay, so right now, two things I got to do. One, I got to take a shot for that super chat donation we got earlier. I forgot to do that. I wanted to stay relatively sober while I had a guest on the show, so I kind of keep my crap together. Let me take a toast. It's freaking hot in here tonight. Thank you for that super chat donation. Now, let's listen to our good buddy. Here he is for a voicemail. The one and only Big J.
Hey, Phil. Big J here.
Big J.
Sorry I got to you a little later than I wanted to. Hey, buddy. Listen, man. I got to be honest with you. You know I love this show to death. And I'll always love it. I'm going to keep drinking the Kool-Aid. But honestly, bro, this season's been a fucking major disappointment. A major fucking disappointment. It's like they're just throwing things out there, trying to be too cute. They're trying to be too cute, bro. I'll be honest with you. It's like enough with these fucking big vacuum, these things going back to Breaking Bad. It's just like, it's not like, I remember a time watching this show where I just felt the fucking leaving when it ended, like, man, what a fucking episode.
I think, and I'm going to play the rest of your message, Big J. I think I remember talking to you a lot about the show. I think a lot of it, like you were in love with the show, like all the way through, but especially during the Chuck stuff. I think you really like the interpersonal brother stuff that was going on. Since I already took a shot, we got Fernandez T with the shot. Phil, I did watch that game. Freaking crazy as hell, Bobby J. Pass that. I want to fall into the pool. But let's continue to give one thing that I like on my show here for everybody. I don't like to live in an echo chamber. So if someone's not feeling something, I want to hear it. I want to hear what Big J's problems with this episode are, and we'll deal with it. We'll listen to what Big J has to say.
So like, I feel like it's all fucking sold. They're selling out now. It's all. I mean, how the fuck is there one season left before we get to the Gene stuff, and they haven't tied up nothing? I don't even know what the fuck's going on today. I'll be honest with you. I don't even know. I mean, this is the coolest part of the show, calling you afterwards.
Oh, I love you, Big J. Love you, Big J.
And a couple other people talk about the show. It's just like, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm totally. They waited too fucking long to bring the season back. It's not their fault. It's COVID. I just like, I don't know what the fuck is even going on. I don't want to see fucking Egg Begley Jr. no more.
Okay. I found a point I agree with. I wouldn't mind not seeing Ed Bagley Jr. on my screen. I like Ed Bagley Jr., but he's, whatever. People in the live chat giving Jay some shit. We're gonna give it back at you, Jay, and I know you can take it. Jay can take some shit. Let him have it in the chat, people. We love Big J. We don't have to agree with Big J. I don't necessarily agree with Big J's points, but I love getting to talk to him and hearing him share his thoughts right now, because I can get maybe how some people were at a really big high after the Nacho stuff, and maybe the last 3 episodes have not given them what they necessarily wanted. But I feel Big J. I don't agree, but we're gonna let Big J have his flowers here in talk. Jeffrey Townsend says, Big J has a point. It seems like they slow burned it a little bit too long, possibly. Tyler Brown says, I agree. Soft Batch says he's got a point. Natalie says, not being too cute. And I am a basketball fan too. I'm a Celtics fan. I went to a couple of the games I went to one game in the Milwaukee series and one game in the Brooklyn series. So yeah, I can definitely talk some basketball in a second here, but no one wants to hear that. So let me continue. Jay would rather probably hear me talk about basketball right now, but no, let's continue.
I want to see this fucking Harry Hamlin, whatever the fuck. I just they showed one little fucking thing of Lalo in Germany hitting the fucking belly with an axe. I mean, bro, I love the show. I hope next week they prove Big J wrong, but I tell you, it's been a big fucking disappointment. And this is my favorite show. I love this show better than Breaking Bad.
He does. I mean, and for those of you that are new listening to this that haven't heard Big J before, Big J has been calling us since season 1. We've been talking about the show since season 1. I believe Big J's been calling us since season 1. He usually calls and he'll talk the heels of the show. So this is interesting coming from Big J.
Well, this season, it's been a fucking disappointment. Last week, I was like, I really thought they were gonna bring it out tonight. I'm totally fucking disappointed, bro. But I love you guys. I love you and Joe. All right, buddy. I'm sorry I had to beat Debbie down.
Oh, done, Jay.
It's just the way I fucking
Jay,
keep things
do I look
but I'll
like?
definitely call you next week. All right.
Thank you, my friend Jay. And fair enough. Like, I don't agree with Jay, but I appreciate him sharing his points and taking the time to call. Just like everybody. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with some of the stuff I say, and I don't have to agree with you. But it's really cool to hear differences of opinions, even when maybe I don't agree with it 100%, Jay. But I'm feeling you, buddy. I'm feeling you. Thank you for calling in and leaving a message. Dog, stop it. Oh no, my dog's sneezing all over the place. Big J is a huge fan. Phil can also talk the greatest show ever. Cheers. We're talking about the little black book. Talking about Sam's black book. Breaking Bad. Yeah, Breaking Bad. I saw Kim drive onto Bad Choice Road, and I'm worried she dies. I just want to thank Fernandez T for that super chat donation. Fernandez T, thank you so much, buddy, for that super chat. You are awesome as always. I really do appreciate that. Means a lot, my friend. And let me toast this up to you. Toast to Big Fernandez T. Foodie says, the show is perfect, but I acknowledge not loving the thought of a 7-week break. I love the lawyer parts, mostly with Ed Brogley Jr. and Howard. The worst part of the show is the length. I need more. Bless you, cute doggy. Oh, the doggy pup. Big Phil, I can. Yes, the Celtics, great series against the Bucks. Apparently not a fan of detailed slow birds as soft batch. I do trust the writers as well, Bryce. I absolutely do. And I concur with Big J. So, Big J, you do have some people believe in you. So, what I do need to do right now is it's about time. It's no longer messing around, no longer waiting, no longer stopping, no longer hesitating. I've waited too long for this. It's time for the recap! It's so hot! Go recap time. Give me 1 second. Woo. Thank you, everyone. Let's get into this episode. So, 7 weeks, no way, that's bullshit. Oh, what song was that? It's one of my old band songs. I play that stuff so I don't have to worry about copyright crap. It's a song called Captain's Chair by one of my old bands. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me continue. Let's get into this recap of this episode. Now, the episode opens up in an older place. It's an office, or it's a store. We see a little girl. She's stolen something, and it's young Kim waiting for her mom. And we get to meet her mom. And let's get into this. Let's see if we can play some of this. Let's see if we can get to this part. The episode opens up. Oh, sorry. Yeah, most of the silly music I play in the show is different ones of my bands to save the copyright situation. The different transitions. So we open up, and at first I thought it was a principal's office that we might be in, but it's not. Oh, the girls are here.
Here she is.
Oh my God.
The girls have finally here. Really? Thank you.
What is going on with you? She's never done anything like this before. Never. She's a straight A student. She's always got her nose in a book.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, ma'am. She was caught red-handed.
Oh, sweet.
A thief.
Like to jam sometime, Justin. I play drums and percussion sometimes.
I'm disappointed, but that doesn't even begin to cover it. What happens now?
Well, when the merchandise in question is over $20 in value, it is company policy to call the police.
The police? You know what? Maybe that's for the best. Nip it in the bud. I mean, protecting her from the consequences of her own actions.
Now,
discretion.
If we can see, okay, this is the young Kim scene.
Our main concern is we just don't want to see the same faces over.
Kiwi was right.
So
this looks like it could be dressed up as her mother.
Well, Kim, you heard Mr. Pearson. Are you going to do it again?
We got Fandom D Saint in the live
I'd like to
chat.
believe that.
Oh, it's great to see you, buddy.
And what was so wonderful that you just had to steal it?
It's something about, and again, this is one of those things, having just study acting and like, not that I'm good at it. I'm not good. I just mean that going to acting classes. The way she's imitating Kim's like vocal patterns, or the actress that's playing Kim's vocal patterns when she's in the character of Kim to play her mother here and show the influence of her, it's really awesome. And it's done exceptionally well in a very subtle way. Not that it seems like she's doing an imitation of Ree, but she sounds so much like her that I can see why myself and the Kiwi as well, like, kind of thought that maybe it was actually Ree playing the character herself. It's great to see Fandom D say in the live chat. You know we're doing good in a live stream when the bots are out.
I can't even hear you.
Julianne, I did too. I totally bought Kim's mom's act. It worked in the store. I have a similar story with my mother doing something similar at a police station with me, playing all nice, then walking out going, "Fuck those motherfucking piece of shit. I know you did it. I just lied." Like she's covered me. She said I was somewhere where I wasn't somewhere, where I actually was the place committing the crime. So like, I get that. I get this aspect. I can also relate really well to Kim in dealing with this kind of mother and this kind of upbringing, where it puts your moral compass. People need to talk you into thinking about the normal life in some ways. So it makes it even more obvious that the Kim we see from the beginning until she breaks, that wasn't a real Kim. The real Kim is this manipulation person. Yeah, thank you, T-Rex. You know you've made it when the bots invade. Thank you so much to everyone that's been checking this out tonight. I do very much appreciate you guys. It is awesome. Having a great time tonight. Justin says, picture of an atom. I'm the chemist. I'm Walter. Let's talk later. Let's talk later, buddy. Come on. We'll figure something out. So then the minute they step outside, Kim's mother opens up, laughing her asses off. The look on her face. Are we sure that isn't replaying her mom?
Nip it in the bud.
Laughing at that stuff. Hey, Bryce, money, and then we take off and let's see it. We'll see the Nebraska. Something about this Nebraska kind of girl. As she goes off. Now I'm going to push this down because I'm doing this just so we can see the license plate. And I showed it too soon though, but they did show the license plate that said the Nebraska license plate. So I missed showing it, but trust me, it does happen. So we're back in, and we're in happy old-timey music Dixieland as we see Howard getting ready for his day with that classic Don Draper shoe buffer in his bedroom. He makes his coffee. He gets a cooking meth montage where he gets his coffee, that Jerry Seinfeld on people having sex with coffee in cars. Is that the name of that show? I don't know what the fuck it's called, but you guys know the show I'm talking about. He be happy. We get some coffee porn, total coffee porn. And he has a guest there. At first, the way that they were separated, I didn't know if it was just his lover of some sort, but it seems to be his wife. And as I mentioned, my headcanon is that they're having trouble sleeping in different bedrooms, as we see Howard has the bed set up, and we saw him in therapy earlier. She seems to be in control of what's going on right now. They don't sleep together, but she knows all about Jimmy's whole situation. They talk about it a little bit as well. When they're walking back to the car, it looks so much, it really does, vivid. Like, I was watching it again right now. It looks so much like her. So freaking much like her. Yeah, that smile after the skim was so Kim. Especially similar to the smile we get later when Cliff Main is asking her about if she has any problem with Hamlin. Yes, comedians in cars getting coffee. It was like a comedians in cars getting coffee making porn scene. Neat freak with the wire hangers, the irony of it all. Seeing all of that together for Howard is just so beautiful. And it's all those little small character moments that I really like, that this show is never abandoning learning more about characters each episode to episode. And that's part of the thing that makes this show consistently interesting for me. It's the theater geek in me. It's that each show feels like I'm watching a series of theatrical one acts. And that's where, for someone like Jay, these acts aren't working, but I think next week's act is going to work for you, Jay. I have a good point. I have a good feeling that you might be calling in next week with a very positive feeling, and that all of this is sort of like in the ring. It's like it's the rope-a-dope, it's gonna thunder you. They're rope-a-doping you here, lulling you into a sense of security, and then gonna punch you in the freaking face. I'm enjoying it, and I'm eager to see where it goes and how we keep unlocking more character wrinkles. For the most part, at the beginning of this episode, with all the stuff we're getting for Howard, I almost texted Kiwi, I think Howard's gonna die tonight. like I thought we were getting Howard dying in this episode foreshadowing, but it didn't go in that direction. The hangers in the cold opening I thought were Howard, but it's Kim's shoplifting scene. See, I'm worried that Kim, like her mother, doesn't actually care about Jimmy. I'm worried that I just saw Kim laugh and leave Jimmy. Kim robs Jimmy and leaves him in the lurch. Steals a kidney too. Kimmy steals a kidney. I just wanted to say that for the alliteration of it and the rhyming. And that's, I forgot to mention that at the beginning scene, Kim gets her Kim earrings that we've seen before in different scenes. So, no, I thought in like a quick moment that like I knew who was playing Howard's wife, but it's not an actress, I thought. So the PI after the scene gets the lowdown on what Jimmy has. It's a well-edited scene, very in detail, about getting client lunches, going to clients, took 20 grand out. Howard likes it because he thinks he's got something, but as people in the chat and Kiwi pointed out earlier, it's a trap. It's part of the plan, and he's giving out, and Jimmy and Kim are only giving out the information that they want to. Joe Dirtybot can't join us for these because of work, but Joe will be back in a couple Sundays to share his thoughts on what he thought about this episode. Howard might still die, sadly, before the show's over. Yikes. He very well might. And I felt in this episode we got some of his foreshadowing death. But
take out for him and the receptionist, Taco Cabeza.
Taco Cabeza.
That, another 4 clients. He left the office around 2. Made a quick stop for coffee, same place as the day before. 2:30 to 3:20, he was down at the courthouse for a bail hearing, then back to the office, home at 10 after 8. Wednesday was more of the same. Out at 8:30, got to the office by 7:15.
That's how I feel, Yanil as well. Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Yanil, great name. For me, I am more invested week to week, each week. Like, this is the most invested I've been in a show towards the end of its conclusion since, I think, Breaking Bad. There's been a couple of other shows that have been close for me, but I am definitely way invested at this point. And I think Jay is too. That's why he feels that way. Because these episodes haven't, and I'm talking for him a little bit. He'll share more thoughts later, but I think some of it has to do with the weights the week to week. He mentioned that in his message too. The Kiwi was talking about that as well a little bit for other people, that people had to wait so long in the long break. And people that got into it through binging it and are now waiting week to week. And I know Jay definitely watched it week to week before, but after a 2-year break, it disappeared off Netflix. People didn't watch season 5 for a long. The long break didn't help for everyone's attention span. Why was Michael Mando credited in this episode's opening credits and last week's also? Maybe they're just crediting him till the end of the season for payment purposes, to give him that somehow in his contract his name was going to be mentioned in the first half of the episodes in the opening credits. The Hoboken Squat Cobbler, baby. That's my hippie activities one. Jack me off. Jimmy knows he's being watched. Absolutely. Kim screwing over Jimmy. Maybe the tipping point for Jimmy fully becoming the slick bastard of Saul Goodman. Soft batch. I like that. How do Jim and Kimmy hide from the PI to go to the vet, Jimmy? And I think it goes to what some people in the chat and others have said, callers and Kiwi said as well, that they know they're being followed, so they can ditch him when they want, because they know, maybe it was during the time period they knew he was meeting Howard, or they knew he wasn't on them at that point. They've made the PI and they're using it to their advantage. Francesca was pissed that the guy put a cigarette out on the couch that you just bought. Oh, someone said, I missed this, so I'm sorry if I haven't said this yet. Someone in the live chat said, please talk about Francesca decorating the place. And I do like seeing the Saul place slowly but surely become the area of the cathedral of justice that we remember it being. And I like Francesca being back in the action, and that she's going to be a hardcore force from now until the end of the series, and getting her to decorate the place, and not understanding the theme quite right yet and how she's going to discover it, and watching her not so subtly shift to being very much a soldier of Saul is going to be very fun. I think it's going to come with the design of the place. And right now it's trying to make this very lovely place, and then these people are pissing in it and putting cigarettes out on it. So she's going to know what kind of place she's going to have real soon. Francesca, yeah, we can see the bitterness grow. Okay, so we go off to the vet guy who is working, who we get is the vet the next scene? Oh yes, the vet is the next scene. So we get the vet.
You think? Did you see how many people he had in that book? I mean, he's raking it in, day out. It's passive income, minimal risk. I can't believe he's walking away from that.
And he talks about how he wants to get out of the life. He has another patient, and it's Jim and Kimmy. They are trying out these drugs to make his eyes all bugged out and such. He's not feeling it yet. He won't be tripping balls, but he'll feel like he had 2 Red Bulls to the stomach, and it won't show up in a blood test. And they take his temperature. He thinks it's going to go up his ass. A couple of just funny moments, a couple of interesting things. He talks about he's not happy. We get a line about vets being as depressed as lawyers. And he's like, no, the vet stuff's great. He shows off his wall of animal stuff that Kim's looking at with almost like disdain. Like, and he's closing up his shop. He's leaving town. He's thinking about selling his black book, as we know eventually goes to Jimmy when we see it. He keeps all of his contacts to everyone in town. And as the Kiwi mentioned, I guess this has been decoded. And you can see Hugh's name in here. You can see Cuddy's. You can see other people's. And we also see the vacuum cleaner cards, vacuum cleaner man salesman's card that comes into play in Breaking Bad and El Camino. How Walter gets away, how, with Jesse as well, and Saul. Robert Forrester's character. So we we get into all of that, and that completes that. We talked a little bit about that earlier as well and broke that down a little bit more, but that was really amazing to get to see that, and such a subtle little thing in the episode means so much in the context of the show's universe, and that was really an expansive kind of moment right there. Comedian Joe DeRosa is the vet. Typical Gilligan moves to hire comedians for side characters. I love that. Moon River. The vet was happy in the room with the dog and the pet people. And then when he goes in with Jim in the dirty side of work, he puts his gloves on. He gets a little sad. Everything is crappy. I would agree on that. That was great Saul reveal. He loves the money. What he does, he embraces the criminal aspect. Great points by everyone in the live chat, as always. You can see we got another text and a couple more voicemails that I will definitely play before the end of the show. Just want to thank everyone again for our super chat donations tonight. You guys have been amazing. Going to continue this on, continue through this recap. So he's closing up shop. He's leaving town. Kim says, "Oh my God!" And as his pupils are finally dilated, and he definitely looks like he's tripping balls.
Regularly enforced. Your Honor.
So now we're back. Now we're back in court, and we see Kim doing the best Kim can do.
What's the point here? The point is that this was not routine. Officer Connell knew my client. In fact, he arrested him 5 years ago when Joshua was a juvenile. And Officer Connell's record shows that this is only the third citation he's written for this statute in almost 20 years. So either this is an incredible coincidence, or Officer Connell recognized my client and used the dangler as a pretext to violate his Fourth Amendment rights. Your Honor, all I'm asking is that you take another...
Great point by the Kiwi. Forgot to mention this on the show, but they can do the Ed vacuum cleaner stores or show his red van without ever showing the actual actor in order to still have Ed in the story without having to reuse material or do some digital something to put him in. I don't think they're going to do any digital whatever. They'll probably do something similar to what you just said. I think that actually makes a lot of sense.
Another look at the officer's statement. Ask yourself if the state's version of events passes the smell test.
Yes, Emerald. Mine as well. There's been many nights eating a mushroom pizza where my eyes have looked like that at the end of the night. I'm not telling tales out of high school here. Or maybe I am telling tales out of high school. Okay, so we get that whole scene where Cliff Main is way impressed with Kim, and then she gets another coffee scene. We get some more coffee porn with her at the coffee machine. And he talks to her about her thoughts. He wants her to join his extra special, do good stuff for good people club. And this is essentially her dream job of her situation that she's set up in this moment. They build this up to give her this ultimate other thing, this thing that she wants more, that we could say or think she wants more than anything. This ability to help people on a bigger scale, make probably more money on it, be at the point of the foundation of being able to help as many people as she possibly can. But at the end, this all sets up how big of a choice that is at the end, when she's like, no, fuck this. Making sure Howard gets fucked, making sure our scammy deal goes through today is more important to me than that. I love it. Bryce, thank you so much for joining. I hope you're enjoying the discussion. And I noticed that we have a lot of new faces in the live chat tonight throughout the evening that were in here earlier, popping in tonight, different faces popping in and out. Thank you so much. If you're enjoying this brand of silliness, please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. Join on in the fun. I'm going to be here after every episode of this final season of Better Call Saul. And I also talk about a handful of other shows too. So make sure you're subscribing, follow for all updates and all that kind of stuff. All notifications to make sure you are aware whenever I go live. And thank you so much to everyone joining tonight. I'm not ending things quite yet, but finishing this episode. But I wanted to say thank you to all the new people. And Bryce, thank you for. I feel like I need to do a Rocky Horror Virgin kind of thing where you're welcome. Let's play a song for you, and I'll play a bongo solo on my things. I'll click a clock. I'll take a talk.
Letting me take a free hand. I'm going for a vibe that's professional and refined.
Yeah, and then we get the scene with Francesca and
Inviting?
Oh, it's definitely inviting. It's classy.
Thanks. I don't know if you saw it before, but it's come a long way.
Not too spot on. The party's literally just starting because the Night King has arrived. Great to see Spot on in the live chat, and thank you so much, Soft Batch. Soft Batch would be back.
I've also got a pair of water features coming.
And I love how serious she's taken this Cathedral of Justice. She wants to make sure that everything is just right.
It's still a work in progress.
Well, I can't wait to see the final product. But I know you were on your way out. I don't want to keep you.
Yeah, I should get going. Oh, yeah.
And I love how much she looks up to Kim in this.
Congratulations.
Thank you, you're married. And Kim's like, what? Huh?
Saul told me you guys got married. Can I ask, are you registered anywhere?
Someone says, play Captain's Chair again. Play some damn music, motherfucker. We want to hear some fucking music. I know, and I will definitely play some more music and other songs and random stuff in the background. So let's listen to another one. This song is called. Okay, so let's continue here with this episode recap. So then we Kim comes in the office and talks to Francesca, and Francesca is trying to make the place look all classy, and she thanks her for her marriage. They have an awkward hug. You can see that she still looks up to Kim, and Kim is just like, get out of here. We got scamminess to do. I don't want to deal with your shit. And then she goes... Sorry. Okay, so anyways... Kim leaves having a sort of weird feeling. So then we go off to one of the highlight scenes of the episode for me, just because I love all these characters. We get a scene with Saul and his film crew, and we get them all. We also get some just like background acty kind of things. Them saying thank you 10 whenever you're in a theater production. I don't know if it's the same on film sets and stuff in theaters. When they're like, you got a 10-minute break. All the actors go, thank you, 10. And like she does that in the scene, which is fucking hilarious. The actor being like, I need my motivation for my mustache. Just, I love good actor humor type shit. Like when actors make fun of themselves. And there's a lot of that in this scene. And there's always this stuff with there was a big part of Mr. Show, actually. Like Bob's always been like that. A little bit doing the, hi, I'm Bob Odenkirk. You may know me from such things. He has a little bit of that Phil Hartman in him as well, like character actor. Hey, everybody. And they bring that into these scenes. These scenes don't feel like they wouldn't be in place in a season of Mr. Show if they altered them a little bit. And you somehow throw David Cross in there somehow. I feel like they could work. All of these scenes with all of the film crew. That like I want to see them do cameos if they do another season of Mr. Show. Let's listen to a little bit of this.
Well, this could work, right?
No, our guy has more of a curl on the ends.
Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It's an action shot. I'll shoot it 1/13 of a second. Give it some blur.
Blur? No blur.
No blur.
We need him to be recognized. That's the whole
Clear.
point.
Clear.
Kim, hey.
Hey, everyone.
We started late because someone took forever to get the equipment.
I don't control when they.
Oh, it's just a theater thing. The thank you 10. Yeah, like we get 10-minute break. Thank you 10. They make that joke in Glow as well at one point. The thank you 10. They turn to each other like thank you 10.
Hey, I'm playing a man of substance, am I not? What?
They're right here.
He's
This
a man
shit.
of means, of style.
No, these are just stills, Lenny.
But
Just keep
no,
it simple.
my internal character arc is my. Like I feel like this is the in a show that really does care so much about this kind of stuff. It's good that it always has that tongue-in-cheek, dark sense of humor that Vince Gilligan has. Even if he's not writing the particular episode, like what he brings, and Peter Gould too, I think both of them just have this dark, sardonic sense of humor that's brought into all of this, and this ability to do deep things and introspective things without it seeming fart smelly at all. So they make, and it's because they do silly things like this, like have the actor be talking about, I've got to find my moment, my deep character moment when he's taking still shots in a scam. It's just awesome. It's really awesome.
Wonderful sausage. That's a good name for you. Freak. Pork sausage for the watch. Pork sausage.
Okay. So, thank you. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much to everyone. Oh, wow. We got 140 people watching right now. Thank you so much to everyone watching. The blur might have saved their ass not knowing what's happening with the broken arm. Love these theater. I love these theater nerds. They crack me up. They're awesome.
It's docudrama. Doc, reality.
Doc, it's
Just
real.
Keep it simple.
It's
and
real.
No improvisation.
Yes.
This just reminds me of like a Larry David sketch sometimes. I don't know.
Weigh in on this?
I don't want to weigh in. No weighing in. There will be no weighing again. And then Kim comes in and she's just like,
Wax on the ends.
Yeah, just do some wax. Stick
Trimmed
some.
and waxed.
Done and done. Got it. It's over.
Everything okay?
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that Gus Fring directed this episode. That's why everything was
10 minutes to
just
set,
so.
guys.
Oh, thank you, 10.
Thank you, 10. Excuse me. Thank you, 10. Okay. So just a great scene. I don't want to expunge too much on this scene other than to say comedy gold is always with these guys. I love them. So we go over to chopping wood. This is my notes. Chopping wood. Lumberjack? Is this Kai? Is this Dexter? Wait, what's going on? Is this Dexter before New Blood? Are we getting a crossover? Wait a second, BoJack Horseman. Is this a crossover episode? So I didn't know what was going on here. Is this Lumberjack Dexter? No. It's Lalo Salamanca walking through, and it is scary. It's fresh. It's tense as hell. Suddenly, it's a horror movie again. What was this guy's again? Someone said it earlier in the chat. I'm blanking on his name again. I feel so bad that I can't remember this guy's name. He grabs the axe and he runs. It's kind of a fun moment where it's oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the actress that plays Kim just had her birthday. She's 50 and she just turned 50. I would have thought she was 35. Like seriously, happy birthday to Ree. No one chops wood like that. No one chops wood in the corner. Sorry, I wanted to do a Dirty Dancing reference and it didn't work. It didn't come together. Casper, thank you so much, Casper. Casper the friendly. That's how I'll remember him. Casper the friendly worker. He was the friendliest worker around. Him and Mike were best friends until Lalo chopped him down. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so Mike gave Casper his ticket to Budapest. Mike, thank you so much for that super chat donation. Jack me off. I think I have enough for one more drink, or maybe two more drinks. But thank you, Jack me off, for doing your name to my super chat box. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Toast to you, my friend. Cheers. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated. Oh, yeah, it's officially, I guess it's my birthday right now. Happy birthday on the East Coast to me. Thank you. I couldn't think of a better way of spending my birthday than hanging out with over 100 folks right now, talking about Better Call Saul. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's definitely the preferred way to spend my birthday tonight. But yeah, she's 50, Bryce. Honestly, I thought, like, when they said it was her birthday, and yeah, and I went to go look, I thought maybe like late 30s, 30, 35, 36, like that range maybe. But no, she just turned 50. But yes, it's my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I got a Better Call Saul on my birthday. That's all I wanted. Thank you, everyone in the live chat. Do appreciate that. For my birthday, hit that like button and share this out right now somewhere if you can. If you have a platform to share in somewhere you might think someone might enjoy this crap, please do it. Chopping wood is Kai, so he runs towards him, comes in we get a lot of real fun shots of the barn as Lalo's looking around for him, and the dude gets the best of Lalo and hits him with an axe, but as the Kiwi pointed out, Lalo has such plot armor in this situation with his battle against this guy. The axe turns sideways and he hits him with the back of the axe. And Lalo doesn't die. He just lays down. He just lays down. Yeah, thank you. 29. Yeah, it's a couple of decades ago, Emerald. I'm closer to Ree's age than I am to 29. I'll say that. But it is my name day. Thank you so much. Oh, I will do another shot. I don't think the ticket will do. I think they definitely flew out of Denver since the international airport would be the best and least suspicious. Happy birthday. Oh, no, I appreciate you guys being here for my birthday. Oh, you guys are awesome. Oh, thank you, Jackie C. And happy late birthday to Fernandez motherfucking T. Okay, so the dude gets him in the gut with the axe. Who are you? And Lalo plays perfect. I could play the audio of it, but I don't have to. This is something to watch, not necessarily listen to. He plays it so I'm not feeling good, guys. The stream's over. I feel like shit. I can't do this. Come closer. Come closer. And then fucking slices him. It's great. I love it. Don't hit the blunt end. No half measures. Exactly, T-Rex. Thank you, Vivid Kiwi. Thank you for all your efforts and help this season to help more people find me. I appreciate it so much. You have no idea, Vivid Kiwi. So I guarantee Salamanca Cousins never, ever use the back of a Crowbacks. Ever! Ever! You know Lalo's thinking that to himself. Like, when he kills this guy, he's like, this guy could have had me, dude. Dude, this guy had me. He had to jump on me. I was slow coming around the corner. He got me clear with the axe. But the dude, it's like, are you holding a lightsaber by the lightsaber side and trying to hit them with the handle piece? Dummy. You big dummy. And wait. Where's my download files? Yeah, it is my birthday. Where are my download pictures here? Downloads. It is my birthday. Deep Space Nine fans will understand this one. It's a cake. This is what I got for my birthday. I want a cake. It's a cake. Love you, buddy. He wanted to question the guy if he hit him with the sharp end. Absolutely, Justin. I know that's what he was thinking. He wanted to question him, understand where he's coming from. But if some guy's chasing, all I'm saying, because you're right, Justin. You're 150% right. That's what he was thinking. I think I even said that earlier, too. That's what he was thinking. Totally. 100%. He was thinking dumb. Some dude's chasing after you like that. Coming after you, obviously trying to kill you, not buy you breakfast at Denny's. You know, Lalo's gonna fucking kill him. I know you want to ask questions. I know that's in your mind, but he can also answer some questions while he's bleeding out from the pointy end in his gut. And there's no chance of me getting Jack Bowered. That's all I'm saying. Like I get it. I know what he was thinking, but he was thinking stupid. That's some stinking thinking. Oh, let me talk like an inspirational thing. Now, everyone, that's some stinking thinking, right there. You can't stink that thinking. You gotta think smart when you're dealing with some asshole chasing after you with a gun. Stinking fucking thinking. Exactly. He was chasing after him with a gun. I'm sorry. I don't care. If you're chasing after me with a gun and I'm lucky enough, and I'm not gonna get lucky enough because I'm a pussy. Let's not get. I make friends with tough people because I'm not tough. If I go to a party, I make friends with. If I go to a bar, I'm most friendly with the bouncers. I'm not stupid. But if I'm running from some dude with an axe, if I'm running with some dude with a gun and I have an axe, I can go without the questions answered. I just want to survive the night. Thank you, Emerald, for that super chat donation. Very much appreciated. But yeah, he was just thinking something stupid. Okay, so Lalo goes and hands him the card, playing possum, and he razor slashes him in forward motion and gets him going. And then Lalo gives him the belt to tie off. And he's, I'm going to talk to you. So we're back in with Francesca, who's making copies. This I got to get to. I got to play all of this. So she's noticing, she's seeing the guys putting shit out on the table. She goes into Saul's office. This is the scene that I mean, that this scene right here, to me, felt 100% like a Better Call Saul scene, on a Saul Goodman scene on Breaking Bad.
We'll have you back to the Rusty Bucket by happy hour.
He's in there talking in the Rusty Bucket. She wants to go outside with him to make this phone call.
Francesca, can we sidebar in the law library?
And this is the law library out in the fucking...
here and go through the ins and outs of what's quote-unquote legal with you, but we're on a clock. Francesca, let's get something straight, okay? We can't be holding a graduate seminar in constitutional law every time I give you something to do.
But I'm not sure.
You know what I'm paying you? It is above market. To whom much is given, much is expected.
We're not going to make a habit of this.
Of course not. Right? Absolutely. No.
No. Yeah, that means yes. And she takes to this so easily, but
I'm calling because
this is part of like the scammers rules, where like the easiest stuff to scam, it's just simple. She just called in and got the information, and I am a Celtics fan. Boo, boo, boo. I think it's my hopes are we end up with Golden State and Boston in the finals. Boston in 7. Okay. So Saul's a bit of a prick to her. Yeah, he definitely is. He's bullying her into doing what he needs her to do without thinking, which is basically, again, part of like the scammer's handbook. You just keep people moving, not doing well. You just do this little thing. No, don't worry about this. What's the only thing we're gonna do? Yeah, do that over here. Do this over here. Up, down, left, right. BA, select, start. Oh, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Oh, 7-3-7-3-5-9-6-3. It's the Mike Tyson. You want to go fight Mike Tyson and punch out? Go do that right now. No, what we're doing is not wrong. Come on, just come over here and do this. Hey, Casper, do you like Huey Lewis in the News? Do you like the power of love? Don't take money. Don't take no fame. I love you, jack me up. Is that the raincoat? But I thought he slices him with a razor blade behind the car. He does, but I don't think he kills him. I think he like slices him enough to sort of disarm him and set him back, and then he kills him later on. He didn't know who he was. That's why he needed to know what the fuck was going on. Is he with Mike's guys? No, totally. It makes sense. It does make sense. I'm having a little fun and being a little silly. I'm just saying, like, if I was in that moment, I can go without the answers. I'll dig it out to him later. I'll make sure one of his limbs is chopped off before I start asking questions. An axe isn't going to kill him instantly. You got time while he's bleeding out, and you can say, okay, you're bleeding. I'll call an ambulance right now if you tell me what's going on. Otherwise, you can sit there and bleed out. Instead of just knocking him down and then being like, okay, sorry, dude, we're on the same side. Let me help you up. Fucking dumbass. Casper, the friendly fucking ghost. Razor to the face. Okay, so we're back. Francesca's dealing with all this. Let's listen to a little bit of this so I can... Happy birthday, Puff here.
Sandpiper assisted living.
Sandpiper, of course. Let me transfer you.
It's just a phone call.
Good afternoon. Do you have a question about the Sandpiper crossing case?
Yes, my mother's out at the facility in Amarillo. Says she's supposed to call into some meeting on Thursday.
Yes, you're talking about the mediation?
That's it.
Exactly. Swing axe first, ask questions later. And yes, with the Celtics thing, I just don't want to see Dallas. I'm afraid I think Luka would like average 50 points against the Celtics. I think he's an awful matchup. I just think we match up pretty good against Golden State. I'm not undercutting Miami. I think any of these 4 teams could actually win it. Sorry for the basketball talk, everyone. I'm keeping it quick.
Thing is, she's lost her dial-in instructions. I'm just looking everywhere and can't find them.
I'd be happy to help you with that. It's very important to us that all the class members are fully looped in.
True. You take it to the head, you're dead. Quick. I would argue maybe the torso, you don't die instantly. If it's in the gut, you're going to bleed out a little bit, but you could be right. It could be insta-death. It could be. I'll be honest. I've never been in that situation. I hope to not be in that situation. I hope neither of us are in that situation to get empirical evidence on either side of that. I hope I'm never with the axe. I hope you're never with the axe, but I hope we're not on the receiving end of that. I feel like if I got an axe to the gut, it would take me at least a half an hour to die, but I could die instantly. It's very possible. Emerald, I could do a whole show on that. Maybe we will eventually. Come on, where are they naked? I want the naked girls to, come on, naked girls, best in the world. That person's not lying. Chunky chunker. Yeah, exactly. It's hippie activities. I love you, buddy. Casper should have went for the head. Dummy. Yeah, he hears Thor. He hears Helmsworth's voice in his head. I should have gone for the head. Where's the button? I should have gone for the head. That's my Thor voice. It won't be an insta-death. You'll just not be focused on anything other than your imminent death, crying painfully if you're lucky. I don't know why that made me laugh. I'm just reading that and it's like, Phil, okay, dumbass. It won't be insta-death, but you won't be focused on anything other than your imminent death. Naked HD, endorsed by me. Yep. They pay me for advertising here. They do. I think of nice guy Eddie. If you beat this prick long enough, he'll fucking tell you he started the Chicago fire. It's true. You deal with that. Some of that. I'm rewatching 24 right now for whatever fucking reason, and you deal with that. Some of that stuff on 24. That's why I'm making so many Jack Bauer references tonight. Sorry, but I'm kind of rewatching 24 at the moment, and you're seeing that a lot. They go there. There is some element of you do long enough, they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear. So Francesca does not want to make the call, but she does. She finds the passcode to get into the Sandpiper meeting. They're going to be in the Sandpiper meeting. So off we go to Mike for the entrance of the lab. We get some Mike music. We get Mike facing off against Tyrius, which we know doesn't really amount to anything later. So I'm not going to say I was bored. I was not into the Mike stuff this episode, but it is more the same Mike that we got. Mike doesn't quite buy everything with Gus. Mike is trying to keep a relationship with his family. Rinse, repeat to some extent of the Mike stuff. There's not much to talk about and break down here other than he's lying to his daughter-in-law that he's away on a work thing and he's finding opportunities to spend time with his little girl. Mike is getting to his guys. He makes a call, makes the lookout. Yep, blah, 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 blah. Back in the reverse angle, they're cleaning up after dinner. Okay, they look at the scam board. As we see at the end of the episode, Kim looks at the scam board with and crossing out each step, and she's so excited about this. It's D-Day, and they also talked at one point about Kim doing this plan with Cliff Maine, like the good people thing, to go join this crew of good do-gooders, and it's the same day as D-Day, the day that the plan for Howard is going down. They have a picnic, they have some wine. We look inside, we see someone vacuuming. The next day comes, and they kiss goodbye, and we see a giant X in the wall as they go their separate ways. Sharp Stopper, he buys a bottle, a $400 bottle, and he sees some guy with a mustache and his arm in a sling, and I didn't know at first either. He's like, and he starts freaking out. He's like, "What the fuck?" And he runs out to the car, calls Kim, and we find out that this is the guy that they sort of set up with it, and he broke his arm. Oh, that's okay. You're fine, Jackie. Never worry. The mod thing is for fun, not for forcing you on it. So we realized that the guy that they were setting up to be in the pictures that they took, that the other dude was supposed to be pretending to be, didn't have a broken arm in any of those pictures. And anyone that wants to dig in deep to these pictures will know that's not him because the arm didn't exist and the plan is off. So Jimmy says to her, "It's sorry. It looks like it didn't work. The plan's off. We'll have to give it up." Let's play this.
Oh, God. Yeah, before you ask, he didn't shave his mustache. He broke his arm.
Are you serious?
The guy has a giant cast on his left arm. And I just checked all the pictures, and you could see his arm in every single one of them. No cast. Clear as day.
Thank you, T. $4.95.
Shit!
I know. But hey. Look at it this way. If I hadn't seen him, I mean, that really could have sunk us, right? So, we're going to pull the plug, and we are going to live to fight another day.
He has similar pictures with him, the pictures that Howard took.
What other day?
And we'll figure it out. I promise.
The broken arm guy, I think, is a judge.
Okay? Just go. Just do your thing in Santa Fe, and we'll regroup when you get home tonight.
I think they were setting it up to look like Howard was bribing somebody, is what I think was going on.
Kim?
Susanna,
Are you still there?
Susanna, that's a good-ass question.
Yes.
We'll get into that in a second.
Did you hear what I said?
As she decides to turn around here. And it's the end of our episode.
It happens today.
Kim does not hesitate. She needs it to happen today. She turns around. She gives up on her job that she has set up, the good guy kind of thing. And she needs to get this done today. That is a good question. I'm going to throw that to the chat as we're done with our episode. And that's our recap of episode 6 of season 6. Why does Kim have to get this done today? Is she afraid she'll lose focus later? Does she feel like she put so much time and effort into this? She's not giving up on this. Is she addicted to this? Is this like the fix that she needs to get in this moment? This is so much buildup. Does Kim think she can fix this? And she has it in her head, but she knows she needs to be on the ground running to do it and can't transmit it through Jimmy, doesn't trust Jimmy to do it. I just wonder. I wonder where Kim's head is in all of this. The other thing, looking into the Lalo, and when was he in Germany? When is the timetable? Was that weeks ago? Is he going to show up at the end of this episode somewhere and connect with one of our other characters? Does Lalo end up on the ground running for the next episode? But to the Kim thing, why does she feel like she needs to do it right now? I think because they've worked so hard for this plan. She's put so much into it. She's a completionist, and this is so important to her. This is the most important thing to her. In that moment, she decided that if put in the line, like that vicious moment where you're put in a situation where you got to save your dog or your best friend drowning or something, like something. Yeah, I'm going to save my best friend. I'm going to save Joe over my dog. I don't know. Joe's kind of an asshole sometimes, but you know what I mean. That like vicious thing. You could save the vicious Batman thing. You could save your girlfriend, Batman, or you can save Alfred. Your choice. Ha ha ha. Your decision right now. It's like the vicious choice thing. And when Kim is faced with the choice in that moment, she decides that what's most important to her is finishing the scam off. Being good isn't important to her anymore. It's all boring to her. Not all boring to her, but she's going through the motions, I think, in some ways. This is what drives her. This is what the passion she has inside of her. This is the connection to her childhood. This is also, on a visceral level, connecting to her mother again. Pleasing her mother. So I think in all those ways is my reasoning. Let's get into the live chat and see what people say. False picture of Saul bribing the judge. They're hoping to trick Howard into accusing Jimmy of trying to bribe the judge. They're meeting at HHM. Way back in the beginning, Jimmy asks Kim, you need this done by the 18th. She says yes, but they never say why. Kim is actually Walter White in Breaking Bad in this show. Bryce says she knows what she wants, like the vet at the end. And she knows that this life is the life for her. Controlling Kim like a carrot and a stick. Francesca's phone call found the date that they needed. When Joe returns to the show, it should be called D-Day for Dirty Locks Day. I like that. What was the grind in Axe to Grind? The way Lalo grinded that razor blade into his face, I don't know, that was bad. Kim is not an open book. I wonder what are we going to find out about her past, current intentions, her future. She is such a closed book. And that's what makes it so interesting the more we learn about her, because it feels like it's so tight. She felt like, there was so much holding back, and then when you learn more, each peach drips out and drips out and drips out, and that is what I love about this show. I bet the actor they hired is going to throw the money to Jimmy took at Howard and tell him he's not interested in payoffs. But the PI, having followed Jimmy, knows that Jimmy never met with the judge. Cliff will see the actor performing as Howard. Oh, it's so fun. It's going to be so much fun going in this final episode. Let me take a couple more of the voicemails. We got one more text here, too. This is from area code 816. Love the scene with Kim and her mom. Bridges with Why We Love Kim. Oh, 100%. Absolutely does that. I love it, and I can't get enough. Sorry, I was trying to multitask here because I also want to open up. I had a couple comments in the comment section from the last video for people that don't get a chance to watch live and had stuff that they wanted to say. So let me see if I can see it, and because there was somebody specifically that wanted a specific question answered. So let me see if I can do it. Because the picture at Howard's ties to the coffee, very possible. Let me see. Let me go back to there. No, where's the dashboard? I will try to get to those questions next week after the. Because I don't want to just dig around. I'm like trying to look around. I'm like, where are my comments in the comment section? Let me see if I can get to this in a different way. Let me see. Sorry, everybody. I'm so fucking professional with the way I can just pull shit up right away. Yeah, shut up. Open it up. Here we go. A couple questions. If you want phone calls, the measurement thing, thank you for doing these. I really want to know. Where is it? I've already said this. Yeah, Vincent Walt will be in there in the next episode. This is for our good buddy. Oh, no, it was someone that was watching in a previous episode. Saul will screw over Kim with Howard, and I can't wait for him to realize that Lalo is already there. If you guys have any specific questions you want me to address next week, being the final episode of this time, you can message them to me privately at I Got Issues Man on Twitter. Feel free to add me there and send me a DM, or you can also email me at igotissuesman@gmail.com or theissuesguy@gmail.com. Or leave a comment in the comment section of this video, and I'll make sure I get your comment in, your question in next week. So I'm not going to go digging through videos right now to try to find the question that I read where someone's like, please answer my question on the show. But I'm addressing that you said that, but I totally forgot. There was a big breaking news event from the WWE. Don't want to spoil it. If you want to check it out when you're done. I definitely will. I'm hungry as shit. I got to run and eat something. Happy birthday. I'm going to end this thing as well right now. Everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. You guys have been amazing. This was every week we're getting more and more folks. Some of that is thanks to Kiwi for sharing things and bringing a lot of extra folks in. Some of it are just all of you guys liking and sharing these videos. So keep them coming. We got one more week. Let's keep trying to build things up and get another week next week with over 100 people watching. This was a lot of fun to be able to get this again and have a fun audience for this tonight. It means a lot. I think I'll be on again on Wednesday night on my partner in crime, Tony Teflon, on Teflon TV on his channel to talk some from off-season discussions. But other than that, I will be back next week here after the episode airs to talk about yet another episode, the mid-season finale, the first mid-season finale of Better Call Saul. Oh, thank you, Soft Batch. I'm so glad you clicked on this as well. I'm so glad that any of you that checked this out for the very first time, check this out. And if you liked this video and you enjoyed this nonsense, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. Help get more people over here so we can have more and more fun. I love you guys. Thank you so much. If I don't think I got to all Pete's Live Music's voicemails. I'll get to your voicemails next week, buddy. I'm sorry I didn't play them. From Season 2 is approved. Kiwi, thank you so much for sharing it away and joining us. You don't understand how much it helps just doing that tweet out. It helps get a lot more people in to discover it. Have a good night, everybody. Love you guys. Talk to you next time. Ooh, one more episode. I'm not ready for this fucking season to be done. no! Bye, Nacho! Oh no, he's gone! Oh, Kim, don't do it to me! Oh my goodness. Good night, my friends. Captain, thank you, buddy. Love you guys. Peace.